He really started loading his pockets with that shit. Next, let's watch this one. This is hip hop's most embarrassing performances.
Live performances don't.
This is number 2. I need to watch number 1. I just chose this one just so I can help pick.
When a rapper steps out to perform in front of an audience, the goal is to project the coolest version of themselves. It's basically an exercise in making yourself seem superhuman and striving to create moments where your aura ensures that they're hanging on your every word, from the moment you step on stage until the moment you leave them wanting more. Basically, you kinda want it to go like this.
Iconic.
But unfortunately, that doesn't always happen. Instead, there have been plenty of times when an artist takes a massive L in front of a crowd of thousands, and by the time that it hits social media, the whole world has seen them majorly slip up and get clowned as a result. It's your boy Luesta, and these are rap's most embarrassing performances. Sometimes, the reason why an artist's set is a little cringeworthy to watch is because they can't get the crowd on board. And in an era of cameras filming your every move, a rapper can't even have a few rough sets earlier in their career without the whole world having to learn about it. And one person who found this out firsthand was Leray. Before she ever really found her niche later on, Leray was more accustomed to getting trolled by the hip-hop world than being taken seriously. From her overconfidence in interviews,
everybody tried to shit on me and was like, oh, you're a TikTok artist and all this other stuff. And I was like, man, listen, little do y'all know, I ain't give a fuck. Once I knew that the TikTok drove streams, I'm about my money and I'm about strategy. If you don't appreciate the music and you hating because you can't do it the way I did, then that's cool. But check the numbers out.
All the way through to her infamous XXL freshman cypher freestyle, where she started dancing when she ran out of bars.
We all get money, yeah, bitch, you all get money, let's go. Ay.
We got the money, say it, sorry.
They really had a lot to work with when it came to taking shots at Benzino's estranged daughter. But the hate and general disinterest that she was receiving from the culture back then really came to a head when she took to the stage at Rolling Loud Miami in 2021. And to say the crowd was uninterested in what she was serving up would be an understatement.
They wet like Dory, dubbing these niggas like Lori, hold on. Applying the pressure, ain't nobody better way up in the sky, bitches not on my level. We with this shit, my whole gang full of rebels. I don't trust no one that dance with the devil.
Despite trying to give her all to the performance, it looked like Koi had people doing the mannequin challenge from a few years back. And unfortunately for her, the disdain from the set wasn't limited to those on the premises either, as in the live stream chat, she was getting cooked just as badly and told to hold the L. You really can't twerk your way out of this one. With fans saying this looked more like a Rolling Quiet performance, you can only imagine how brutal the comment sections were, with people tearing her apart everywhere the video got posted. As the footage blew up, Koi had to do what most artists do after a rough performance: address it online. She chose to focus on the positives by thanking her fans for all the love. "I'm loved by so many people, it blocks out the hate," she stated. It's about over 100 artists who performed on that lineup, and all people want to do is eat up my crack. LOL, gotta love this shit for real, I got good problems. And when that didn't work, she just kept trying to take it in her stride, claiming that it was her originality that was the problem.
I wouldn't be who I am if I wasn't for me, you know? I feel like there's only one of me, and the reason why everything is the way it is because of me. So it don't matter if they're talking bad or good, they're talking.
That's right.
Because of me.
Although it was rough for her back then, Koi is now a far more established part of the female hip-hop landscape and even locked down a few hits over the years. But sometimes, a ridiculous onstage incident can take place for a rapper long after they're already established as a star. And even as you ascend to being one of the biggest icons in the modern era, it can still follow you around. Just like the time that Travis Scott gave hip-hop an eternal meme by falling in auto-tune.
Was that cut the sound off? Ain't no way they count this.
Man fell so hard he started speaking in italics. Imagine he died and those were his last words. What happened on this occasion was that Travis Scott was doing a guest spot during Drake's Boy Meets World tour at the O2 in London. And as he got amped up to perform Goosebumps, he clearly forgot to look where he was going. But in typical LaFlame fashion, there was nothing that was gonna stop him from raging, and with the assistance of Drizzy, he soon popped out of the pit of hell that it looked like he landed in.
That performance must be copyright, man.
A little while later, Travis was asked about his tumble, and rather than accept that it was a funny little accident, he tried to play it off as though it was something far more profound than it really was. "I didn't fall, dude, I was flying. I was floating. Nothing happened. Floating is amazing. It's like getting in a plane. I'm a magician, like David Blaine. I could never fall. But one person who was presumably less happy about the whole thing was Drake. Because in the aftermath of Travis's descent, Drake informed the crowd that the show would be refunded and subsequently gave the money back to all 20,000 attendees. And depending on who you want to believe, this is actually where the line "Turn the 02 into the 03" came from on his smash hit, God's Plan. So while this may have been a bad night for Travis, Drake's fans certainly came away from it happy. But on the subject of Drake, his own live show record isn't without its blemishes. And no, that's not a reference to his bullet hole hoodie and accompanying trail of smoke from the Anita Max Wind Tour in Australia. Instead, there was a time where Drake, despite being one of the biggest artists in the world, found himself getting booed off stage. Before getting into that, it's important to note this infamous encounter at Camp Flog isn't exactly the only time he slipped up on stage, sometimes literally. Like the time where he forgot he used to be wheelchair Jxmmi in Degrassi and his legs just stopped working.
Huh? His legs just stopped working? What the fuck?
Or the moment early in his career where he got a little too up close and personal with a girl who was 1 year below the age of 18 and wound up making the news as a result.
So bad every time.
Like the way your breasts feel against my chest.
But years on from either of these situations, Drake was booked to perform as a surprise headliner at none other than Tyler the Creator's own festival at Dodger Stadium. The only problem that Drizzy had was that this wasn't his crowd. In fact, without Tyler even saying anything, the crowd had jumped to the conclusion that they would be seeing his old Odd Future bandmate Frank Ocean. So when Drake appeared, a vocal section of the crowd were not into it. And after weathering the storm for a little bit, he asked the audience if they wanted to see the show continue. And when he was emphatically told no, he left the stage to a chorus of boos.
Like I said, I'm here for you tonight. If you want to keep going, I will keep going tonight. What's up? If you want to keep going, I will keep going tonight.
I'm not hearing that
right? Well, look, it's been love. I love y'all. I go by the name of Drake. Thank you for having me.
Hey, respectfully, bro, I feel like he handled that the best way possible. Honestly, like you want to say that's an embarrassing moment. It's like they weren't there to hear him, bro. And like to be fair, honestly, respectfully, they should have fucked with it because like I don't know, man. It's free, you know what I mean? If it doesn't take away from the actual show that's already going on, I feel like if it just additionally adds on to it, like Tyler isn't cutting a set or nothing, like for Drake to pop out, then I feel like it's fair game. But I don't know. Like, you know, it's your time too. You know what I'm saying? You pay for tickets. And if you want to just see him, you know what I'm saying? And you paid for it. That's fair as well. I see that too. But I'm just saying, if Drake popped up and it's free, my nigga, like, shit, why not? Like, why be upset about it? But, you know, you boot that nigga off stage, like, damn, bro. That is some fuck shit. But he handled it well. I think he handled it well. Like, they don't want to hear him perform. All right, bye. Like, simple as that.
The whole situation prompted an angry response from Tyler, who couldn't believe what he had witnessed. In his estimations, he thought bringing one of the biggest artists on the fucking planet for a music festival was fire. He then admitted he was a little tone deaf knowing the specific crowd it drew, and that some people created a narrative in their head and acted out like assholes when it didn't come true. I don't fuck with that. Y'all represented me and Flog to my guest and made us look so entitled and trash. Since then, Tyler has continually aired his grievances about the whole thing, claiming that it was a bad look for him and his fans collectively.
It was.
Everyone thought Frank was gonna be there, but I never said he was or implied it or anything. And Drake came out. Everyone's having a good time, but it was a few people in the front who were just not fucking with that. The only reason why I was mad is because I was like, yo, Aubrey, come to this. Everyone's gonna welcome you with open arms. These kids here don't judge. Like,
they don't.
This is a safe spot for anyone.
Yeah.
And then when that happened, and these motherfuckers is like, fuck you.
Yeah.
It's like a reflection on me to Aubrey, and I'm just like, it's like coming to my house.
Yeah.
And then my kids start peeing on your leg.
Right.
And like you start looking at me like, dog, get your fucking kids, bro.
As for Drake, he did what he does best and tried to act unbothered by the whole thing by trolling the audience that scorned him on Instagram, with the joke even being saluted by Frank Ocean himself. Plot twist, just signed a 10-year residency at Camp Flog Gnaw. Sorry kids, see you every single year till you're 30. Afterward, Drake spoke about the incident on Rap Radar, admitting that the way it played out completely caught him off guard.
Like, I was kind of sitting there going like, you guys know Frank's not here, right? So it's like, you may as well just like get over that and now like let's rock, cause like I'm the guy, I'm the replacement. So you know, I got a couple joints if you want to hear them. Like it was, yeah. I just walked myself into a situation that like, but at the end of the day, I knew right away. I'm like, they came to see a different show. Yeah. I already knew I was the talk of the gram for like the next 2 days. So I was like,
unfortunately,
bro, that's so respectable, bro. I'm not. There's no laziness at all, bro. Like I was literally on Kendrick's side during the war, bro. Like you know what I'm saying? Like I'm just saying, like that's a respectful response, bro. Like it's fair.
Artists sometimes need to adapt to hostile or even just flat out uninterested crowds, because otherwise it's going to be a long night. And for DJ Khaled, this is something he's had to get accustomed to. Considering there's always a lot of speculation over what exactly Khaled does, there's no surprise that he's not exactly the most in-demand live performer. And when you book him to play at an EDM festival, things get even worse. As despite his numerous attempts to try and get them on board, it just didn't work.
Nothing can stop me, I'm all the way! If you all the way up, put your hands in the sky like this. And sing this, sing it up! Nothing can stop me, I'm all the way up.
That was painful to watch, but rather than take any kind of responsibility, he essentially said it wasn't his fault in a post on Instagram, where he said they tried to sabotage his sound. I still stood on stage with no sound, and when they got it to work, they want to cut my set short. They don't want us to win, so we win for their head top. It's all love though, I forgive them. To no one's shock except Khaled's, people didn't exactly buy this explanation, particularly when there was no excuse for the similarly muted response at Social Gloves, a boxing event in Miami.
All I do is win, win. Got money on my. And every summer, everybody is sweet and bad.
This is what happens when I memorize something for an exam and the different questions come. When the homeless guy walks past your car screaming, as painful as that was to watch, at least no one was physically hurt. But the same can't be said for what happened when Miguel took the stage at the Billboard Musical Awards. As he was flying high with his debut album at the time, Miguel was performing at the BBMAs and wowing audiences with a rendition of Adore. But when he tried to leap from one side of the crowd to the other, things went left.
That was a wild move, bro. I can't believe he even did that.
And like, he didn't just hit him.
What was going through his head for that? Like, he was jacked up. Like, that nigga had to hit that cane, man. Like, there's no way anything else was in the system, bro. Like, he had to have, like, look at the height he got. Like, the nigga was on that cane, man. Like, there's nothing else he could have been on. Like, no one, he don't have a song that got him like that, bro. I promise you he ain't got no business in the air like that. That's fucking nuts. Like, I didn't know he was in the air like that. Like, he Rey Mysterio'd old girl, bro. Like, that's fuck shit. Like, I'm suing. Like, I'm owning everything that nigga got, bro. I'm Miguel after that shit, bro. That, oh my god. Like, I can't believe he clotheslined that bitch with his leg, bro. That's just wild to me, bro.
Matt Hardy style leg drop from the top rope. In the aftermath, the whole thing had the world cracking up.
Falling is an accident.
I know Charlamagne said some shit,
strategic Hulk Hogan leg drop. Yeah, this is what it is with Miguel. Miguel is black and Mexican. So what he did on that stage was release his inner Mexican wrestler. I think he did that in rehearsals and he made the jump with a sweatsuit and some Jordans on. But when he was on stage, he forgot you're in a tight suit and some freaking high-heeled wedges. You got wedges on. People don't realize he took out 2 chicks. He kicked one chick with one foot and then strategically damn near decapitated another woman with his other leg.
After the fact, Miguel was constantly questioned about it and claimed that he did everything he could to check on the girl. I think it's kind of clear what happened, but I'm very happy to bring my new friend, Kiati. We just met. Unfortunately, we did not meet under the best circumstances, but I think we're okay. And even though it kept getting brought up, he insisted he handled it the right way.
Day one, the day of, I was mortified.
Yeah.
First of all, because you have to remember, like, I'm still human, so my natural inclination is to be, are you okay?
Yeah,
That's the
stop
natural.
the show and
that's the natural thing to do. But the professional part is you have to finish the show.
Yeah.
Had I stopped the show, had I stopped it, it would have been even worse.
Yeah.
It would have been extremely worse on national television. Everyone,
Have
can you
mercy.
imagine?
Yeah.
As soon as the camera pops off, rush to the girl. Are you okay? Come on, let me take you to the infirmary. I escorted her myself, but I make sure she's getting medical attention.
Desiigner said, "Let me finish my performance first, and then we'll grab your medical attention." That's what I just heard. I don't know. That's what I'm hearing. That's from the nigga's mouth right there. That nigga said that. I personally, I don't know. I get it, but I don't know. She should have got, like, if she didn't already, medical attention immediately, which I feel like they probably were rushing towards her. But she was, like, kind of, like, on this. She was on a very bad spot to be at when she died, especially when she died for clothesline. So she's on that little island wall or whatever, and she got pinned against that, and then, like, she's surrounded by people, so it's very hard to get to her. He's probably the only one that can, and, like, him stopping the set really wouldn't do anything, technically. But, I don't know, I mean, it could get the people there faster, but in hindsight, it wouldn't matter. Like, she's okay now. Like, they're friends.
She deserves what she needs.
But 2 years later, one of the victims, Cindy, announced that she was suing Miguel and MGM Grand for negligence, claiming his jump caused her injuries. She was reportedly seeking compensation for medical bills and lost wages. Meanwhile, Kiati Shah, who really took the brunt of it, has not filed any lawsuit against Miguel. But sometimes, it's not audience members who are injured at shows, but an artist's credibility. And in the case of Smokepurpp, this would happen in spectacular fashion during a performance at Dave & Buster's. Once seen as a leading light of the so-called mumble rap wave, Smokepurpp galvanized a massive audience at one point in time. Initially aligned with Cactus Jack, the rapper and producer likely thought he had longevity. But as it turns out, the 1985 effect that J. Cole once warned his friend Lil Pump about came into effect. And soon, he got a reputation for being a bad performer stemming from a Boston show where he left early after only 15 people showed up, and essentially refusing to give the audience what they paid to see.
Last night at his show in Boston, once he realized not that many people were going to be showing up, he decided to dip out after playing like 2 songs. Here's a video of some guys just panning to the crowd once again, completely empty, guys. Nobody's in there. Okay, even the DJ's like,
hey, look, he clowning them for the niggas not being there, bro. At least he had niggas still showing up to that shit, bro. He still had niggas showing up to that shit that still wanted to see him perform, and he walked out on that shit still. Like, nigga was just ungrateful, for one. Like, I get it's sad his performance isn't like where it's at, but obviously he ain't changed his fucking style. I heard his shit, bro. It sound the same. He ain't changed his shit, and J. Cole tried to tell him, but he ain't changed his shit at all. So, like, Lil Pump actually elevated just a little bit, so he kept relevancy a little bit, but now I don't know what he does now. But Smokepurpp, like, he just kept the same flow and everything. He didn't change anything, man. So that's why it's like, it's not his fan base's fault. It's like they did change, like, how they like the music, but it's like the ones that still like that same music showed up, you know what I'm saying? And he wanted to play that same music, shit. I don't know why he left early. Like, that makes no sense. It's like, bro, they still showed up for you, bro. You should have got, like, maybe a little bit more popular if you would have, like, just sat there and chilled. Like, why leave? It makes you want to fucking dick. It makes no sense. I don't know. That's just weird to me. But I get being upset about it. Like, it sucks. Like, but hey, at least you have people that showed up. You know what I mean? Like, maybe that's a real wake up call to, like, you know, really change your shit. Like, man, that's the one. Like, all right, let me cancel that. Like, them other shows, or already cancel them. Like, I don't know. Like, make your money or whatever. But I mean, obviously, them shows ain't bringing them in. Like, I don't know.
What the fuck is going on? I mean, literally, guys, you're looking at about, what, 20 people in a room? Guys posted up on the wall.
At the time, a photographer relayed how poorly he behaved at the show and essentially put him on blast. 3 to 4 songs go by and he's not doing anything. He's walking around looking at the audience. Then I realized that these aren't even his songs. He's playing music from X, Lil Peep, Juice WRLD, and all of his friends. Then, as I'm about to go take a photo with him with the crowd, he drops the mic and walks away. The lights come on and he leaves. He promised a meet and greet, but there was nothing. I don't care about Purpp at all. If you go to a show, regardless of the amount of people that show up, the least you could do is give them a performance. I hate this mentality that there's rappers who feel entitled to the point where they won't even give you the bare minimum for a performance because it wasn't what they expected. The people who planned the show spent money for you to waste it. That's what happens, I guess. As for the fans, they weren't any less enraged.
Straight up like some bullshit. At least show up for your fans, the ones that actually waited since 6. Yeah, we're here trying to give you some fucking money, bro. We're trying to help you eat. And you're trying to eat somewhere else? The fuck?
Shortly after that, Smokepurpp was booked to perform at a Dave & Buster's. And to say that the crowd was a little lacking would be an understatement.
My niggas scammers and robbers, yeah, every day hit like the boss.
I filmed out there was no one there.
Since then, his reputation has never recovered, and in all likelihood, it won't. But there have been others who managed to get up, dust themselves down, and start over, like Rod Wave, for example. Among the biggest concert draws around right now, Rod Wave consistently packs fans into arenas at a rate that outshines some artists that you'd consider to be more famous than him. And nowadays, he even adds a bit of theatrics to his performances.
Like Jeff Hardy, bro.
But long before that, Rod, who isn't exactly the skinniest rapper around, was getting trolled for basically destroying the stage by
just angeled his way into the mattress box, like, bruh. There's no fucking way he actually did that shit, bruh. How, bruh? Why?
But long before that, Rod, who isn't exactly the skinniest rapper around, was getting trolled for basically destroying a stage by stepping on it.
Damn, I remember that. Oh.
It's like 1 in the morning right now.
It's honestly crazy. It was exactly the spot he stepped to, bro. That's bad, man. That's bad, man. I still remember that one where he's going down.
Even though he had to cancel the show afterward, Rod kept it lighthearted, posting on Instagram saying, "Pimp down. I repeat, pimp down." Amid endless jokes about his weight, Rod wasn't convinced it was his fault. And in an interview, he suggested that there was sabotage before reconsidering just how much of an entourage he had with him, a lot of whom he didn't even know.
Oh, you think somebody did that on purpose?
Had to be, bro. Like I done been in the worst places, bro. I done been in a hole in the walls, bro. Like coming up, like doing this shit, I done been away. That was in school, but like somebody really, I ain't tripping about that shit though.
How many people you had on stage with you?
Yeah, we was a little deep though, I ain't gonna lie.
So it could have been your fault.
It could have been though, bro, but damn, a nigga falling through the stage.
Yeah.
When something goes wrong on stage, the best thing you can do is shake it off and keep going. And Desiigner did exactly that, even after throwing up mid-performance. At the peak of his fame, this New York rapper was riding high off of Panda, backed by a cosign from Ye and a spot on the Good Music roster. When it came to his live shows, he was known for bringing non-stop energy and giving the crowd everything he had. Well, on one occasion, he gave a little too much.
Ye thought that nigga was Playboy Cardi, bruh, in the fucking making, bruh. I know he did with all them, brrrr. Like, I know he thought, like, that nigga was about to be a soundboard, bro. He was like, Ye's about to like, yeah, I'm about to put my little gospel music on here, my little trap gospel with his little brrrr. Like, he was really about to do all that shit, bro. And he was like, you know what, man? Like, Desiigner dropped like Timmy Turner and shit like that, and he was like, hey, man, like Timmy Turner hit, but the rest of your catalog kind of stank, man. And it's unfortunate, bro. And then he went out sad by, you know, getting in the Mile High Club by himself on a plane, bro. Like,
much, leading him to throwing up mid-performance without even pausing to catch his breath or process what just happened.
You're moving too much.
After the fact, Desiigner, who was hit with accusations of drug abuse after this occurred, said it was just a shot of Henny that went wrong.
Bro, man, so that's when you get no sleep, bro, and you book like probably like 4 times a night, bro. Like you just like on the road, bro. I was on the road at that time, just like stupid every night, bro. Like it was no sleep, you know what I mean? So I was just getting up, bro, probably in the middle of sleep, no funny. I had me a little shot of Henny, threw that back, went up there.
I would believe him.
Oh. Like, you know what I mean? It was just from.
I would believe him, bro.
Let that go. I'm like, all right, hopefully everybody forget about this. Let's keep it going.
Thankfully, he kept it pushing and managed to conclude the set without any incidents.
Bounces right there
while during one of Rae Sremmurd's performances, things went a little differently for one of the sibling duo. Riding high off their string of hit singles, Rae Sremmurd brought a wild party vibe to their live shows whenever they went, with Slim Jxmmi appointing himself as the self-styled turn-up king. But at the Governor's Ball in New York, things went a little too far, leading to him taking a nasty fall from a speaker that resulted in a big gash on his leg.
Not the Mario
As he was
sounds,
taken to be
bro.
assessed by the medical team, his brother Sway Lee had to kill time while he recovered.
I mean, like, this shit is crazy. Like, I wish I could show you what the fuck just happened right here. That shit is sick. That shit is crazy. On 3, man, we gotta say, God bless Slim Jim. 1, 2, 3. God bless Slim Jim.
But after Sway and their DJ described him as world star level fucked up, Jxmmi eventually clarified that he was alright.
Don't pray for Slim, man, because he's really hurt, like, so bad. Like, he hurt so bad right now. Talking about world star fucked up. Hey, yo, I'm not dead.
Despite the injury, he pushed through and finished the show like a champ, only to end up in the ER afterward. And while Slim landed in the hospital, one rapper who was lucky to avoid the fate was none other than Tekashi 6ix9ine, a guy who hasn't exactly had the best track record with crowd surfing. During his initial run in the game, energy was everything for Tekashi 6ix9ine. Led by his high-octane tracks with their shouted vocals, he had no shortage of wild live shows when on his tours. But this love he received didn't always translate when he stepped out of his own bubble, and he would learn this the hard way at a Fetty Wap show when he came crashing down to earth.
They all moved.
As you can see, his back took the full brunt of the impact, and it could have gone really bad.
Damn.
I went to go jump, but I'm so hype on stage, I'm not looking at the crowd, you know what I'm saying? Everyone's telling me that I jumped in a group of 10 girls, frail ass girls, you know what I'm saying? When I jump, I hit a spin, so I don't hit nobody with my knees. So I went, and all the girls just mid-air, I see them just move. I just let God take it from there.
And while he briefly thought he was in real danger, it didn't stop him from doing it again the following day at a Marshmello show with similarly disastrous results.
It was the next day I was at Marshmello show. It's just, I'm always, every time I get dropped is when I'm at somebody else's show. It's not my show. So I jumped at Marshmello show.
Stop jumping out on other people's shows, man.
But I took a girl with me though.
Now, it's a rare occasion when you need to salute Tekashi for getting up and keeping it moving. However, it's not quite as impressive as how Bay Area legend Richie Rich recovered when he got seriously injured on stage. In fact, the OG handled it so well that it went from embarrassment to absolute baller behavior. During a live show with rising Bay Area star La Russell, Richie Rich was performing their track What We Doin' and really began getting into it with the young guns. The only problem was that his 56-year-old body didn't cooperate and he shattered his knee.
Running up hills on rap. Y'all know where they come for the slap?
But amazingly, the Oakland icon wasn't to be deterred and immediately spit his verse like it was nothing, before eventually changing his verse to insist that he needed some medical attention.
Bust the game down like an A for blow. Rocked it up, blew my knee. Do you see that, Joe? Still flowing, nigga, and I can't stand up. Niggas in the hood call a doc man up. What we doing? Fucking with a nigga on stage. What we doing? Blew my knee, acting out my age. What we doing? I don't really even give a fuck. What we doing?
And with that, we saw a masterclass of turning a potentially embarrassing situation into something slick, as in the aftermath, he got nothing but admiration. It's a lot of rappers, but that's an MC. Didn't lose the flow, kept the crowd going, diagnosed himself, kicked a freestyle, and made some jokes after. Salute to Richie Rich for showing the younger artists out there how to turn a bad situation into gold. It's your boy Loesta, and I hope you guys really enjoyed this one. If you want to see me make more of rap's most embarrassing onstage moments,
I really like Loesta's videos, bro. It's always like, I don't know, just narrated really well. That's all I can really say about it. But right after this one, we got the Hip Hop's Most Embarrassing Performance Part 2.